Catus Maximus here, continuing with my binge on adjustable end wrenches. We have another 12-inch. This is a Seldon, I believe by the JSB is a contract manufacturer. This is Japanese, number 4000. What I think is kind of interesting is that they do fully forged nickel, chrome, molybdenum steel. And actually, I'm doing a few of these wrenches in a series here, and some of them are chrome molybdenum, and some of them are chrome vanadium. So it's just kind of interesting. The choices of different materials from the manufacturers. Anyway, this is a decent wrench. This one sees a little bit better on this side than this side. This one sat this face up for years and years and years. Garage or barn, humidity building up, constantly being wet. Did cause it to seep through some pretty thin chrome plating, so I will kind of critique them on that. The screw itself actually had much better plating, and it didn't suffer any issues. Besides the chrome plating, it's actually not a bad wrench. If we look at the broaching, nice and centered. One of the first things to look at when they forge these, it's actually, and then broach them, it's actually pretty difficult for them to really get it very well centered in the billet that they have. So it's nice to see that. Nice tight jaw, really smooth running. Even when we run it out, the jaw still remains pretty tight. Overall, not a bad wrench, to tell you the truth. And you would kind of expect that from a Japanese-made adjustable end wrench. Anyway, just doing a little video to document. Never heard of the brand Seldon. Looking around online, super hard to find information about Seldon tools. Have no idea where they came from. Seldon is apparently a relatively common name for a lot of different stuff. And so any information that might actually be related to the hand tools is buried in a zillion Google results of all sorts of other stuff that aren't Seldon hand tools. And they actually compare good. They compare pretty good to my gold standard Proto, and of course Jamestown Crescents, which I think are the best that were ever made. This is actually a true 4-lead. I was talking in my previous video, depending on where you have these screws positioned, they can be a 4-lead or a 3-lead. On this one, it's a true 4-lead because no matter where you position, like right there, it would be considered a 5-lead. But nowhere where you're positioning it is there less than 4 teeth engaging. I forgot to mention in my previous video about the fullers, properly buttressed, cheap. The reason they do the buttressing, which is the threads are flat on this side and then tapered on this side, is it makes them thicker and much heavier duty. Cheap ones, it's just a square cut thread. Well, it just goes up, over, and then straight back down. Those are not as good. So I thought that was kind of interesting that they just chose that design choice. Now, the body of this is about the same as like the Proto and the Crescent. So you wonder, where is the difference? They are using 4 threads, but are a little bit finer. So you have to turn this thumb screw, more to get the same amount of movement out of the jaw. If we look at my gold standard ones here, these are only 3-lead, but extra thick. But you can turn them. You have to turn it less to get an equivalent amount of motion out of the jaw on these. And so that would be the difference between finer and coarser thread. And I guess it would be kind of a debate on which one really is stronger, particularly in this application. But anyway, thought this was a interesting old wrench, interesting brand of tools. It actually seems to be made pretty well. So just wanted to make a little video about it. Anyway, I really appreciate everybody who's been watching and subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Until next time, Catus Maximus out.